Hey guys, so for the quantitative part of my project, my research question was, do NBA teams in the Midwestern states have higher fan attendance than teams in the Southeastern states? My null hypothesis was that there is no difference in average attendance between Midwest and Southeast teams. My alternative hypothesis was that Midwest teams have higher attendance than Southeast teams. The teams that I examined from the Midwest were the Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, Detroit Pistons, Indiana Pacers, Milwaukee Bucks, and Oklahoma City Thunder. The Southeast teams were Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, Memphis Grizzlies, Charlotte Hornets, New Orleans Pelicans, and Washington Wizards. For the Midwest teams, the mean attendance was 18,494. The median was 18,385, and the standard deviation was 1,641.5. For the Southeast teams, the mean attendance was 17,302, the median was 16,956, and the standard deviation was 1,404.5. So, from the t-test, I got a p-value of 0.1. Since the p-value was greater than 0.05, the results were not statistically significant. Because of that, I did not reject the null hypothesis, and the alternative hypothesis was not supported. So even though Midwest teams had slightly higher attendance, the difference was not strong enough to be considered statistically meaningful. So, some limitations of my research were small sample size of only 12 teams, and the fact that attendance can be influenced by many outside factors like team success, star players, arena size, market size, which were not controlled for. All right, so moving on to the qualitative research. For this part of my project, my research question was, what types of behaviors are seen when people go shopping? I conducted my research during a visit to Trader Joe's. I used participant observation by watching how shoppers behaved in the store while moving through aisles, shopping, and checking out. I coded my data using 4 categories. COM stood for communication, like shoppers talking to employees or other people that they came with. Tech was technology use, like using phones for shopping lists or texting. Cons was consumer behavior, like comparing products, reading labels, or putting items back. SOCB stood for social behavior, like waiting in line, moving around crowded aisles, and respecting personal space. Some themes I noticed were that the store felt very social, especially compared to other grocery stores. Employees were talking to customers often, and many shoppers were talking with the people that they came with. I also noticed that people use their phones a lot, but usually for practical reasons. It looked like checking lists instead of just being distracted. I also saw a lot of decision-making behaviors like comparing products and putting items back. So a limitation of my research was that I only observed one store. It was one visit. So the results might not represent how people behave at different times of day or at other store locations. Also, since I was only observing, I could only see actions and not know what people were actually thinking. All right, that's it. Thanks, you guys.